Marshmallow Fanboy, back with another review, this time of Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wave 3. When this was announced, I got the entire case because I wanted the entire wave. And I got it from Entertainment Earth, and they sent it pretty quick, pretty much as soon as it released. They sent it in an overbox. They didn't send it in this one. But of course, you can see the embargo date, September 1st, 2025, which is how they get, things to kind of release at the same time as they say, don't put this on a shelf until this date. And then stores don't. Or they're not supposed to. If they get caught doing it. I don't know what the consequences are, but So I pre-opened it because it's pretty boring to watch me cut open a thing on camera. So I already did that. Ooh, this is already more than I saw just with the box up. So let's take this one at a time. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Oh, we're gonna start with Marvel's Logan. Marvel's Logan is very cool. I was maybe not as excited about him as the others, except that he fits in so well with the old series. Looking at the picture of Jean and crying meme that's always on the internet. That's what that looks like. But it's a good kind of classic old-fashioned Logan that sort of fits in with comic books, but fits in with the animated series much better. The sculpting on that face looks amazing. It just looks really good, really sharp, really clean. I don't think that's coming out well. I don't think that's coming out well at all. But it's a really cool Logan. And let's see, on the back, of course, it has a much bigger picture of Logan. And then it has, of course, who else is in the wave. All of whom I'm very excited for different reasons. I think Jubilee is the one I'm maybe the least excited about, just because I think we have a Jubilee, right? I think this is another version. You know what? As I'm saying that, I'm thinking, no, we don't have a version of Jubilee for X-Men 97. And it goes well with Sunspot, who she was mostly talking to in conversations with throughout the season. So that's very cool. Also, Sunspot, very cool in the original New Mutants uniform. We haven't had any of the guys really in their original gear. That's funny. I talk about him and he appears. He is the Joe Hendry of action figures. I believe in Joe Hendry. Dun dun. Sorry. That was dumb, and some of you don't know what that is, and you're like, that was dumb, and I agree. Sorry. So we got a wave of, we got one figure that was Wolfsbane, Mirage, and Karma, and it was basically one body with 3 heads and hands and stuff. So if you got 3 of those, you got the New Mutant women in their uniforms. Except maybe Danny. I think Danny still is missing things like the what is that? The blue turquoise, the turquoise belt, and some of that stuff. Anyway, Sunspot is the first time in that outfit in the line. He's had a couple different. He's had like X-Force and sort of more decorative stuff. I'm thinking about the old Toy Biz series too, where he had kind of an X-Force uniform that was really cool. But that is, I'm pretty sure the belt doesn't sit in the middle, but it's fine. I think it moves. But that is very cool, and that is Marvel's Sunspot. I say Marvel's Logan and Marvel's Sunspot. I think they have to say that because you can't copyright Sunspot or Logan. Oh, here's the big one. Cable. Marvel's Cable. Cable is a badass in the cartoon and in the comic, in the Liefeld comics, not maybe necessarily the Scanny's son version or the weird, versions of Cable throughout the years. I haven't read anything lately. I think I've got the first issue of Love and Chrome, so I'm hoping for good things because it looked good on the cover. I judge a book by its cover. Dagnabbit. But he is a massive chunk of action figure. Looks really stable, wide base with the feet and everything. So it looks very posable. Has that sort of Liefeld loadout with the giant guns that you're thinking, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like that. That's amazing. But he's also got, I think, 2 trigger fingers down here. He has a sort of a large open hand. I'm not sure if that's to hold the top of the gun. And then he has one fist over here for punching. That is Cable. That is 3 down and 5 to go. Let me reach in and pull out Emma Frost. Now, I have the Hellfire collection. I never opened it. It was a Comic-Con exclusive. I can't remember what year it was that went. It was a number of years ago, but Hasbro also came through with Hellfire Club guards. And it was just, they sold it once, and if you didn't order, you know, the maximum, you didn't order 5, you just didn't order, you didn't have any. They didn't come out again. They didn't, you know, put them out again. It was weird. I don't know if this is the same sculpt as that. I'm pretty sure they're different heads because of the animated thing, but I'm not sure if the outfit is markedly different or just sort of a repaint. I'm not sure. So this is the only Emma Frost that I'm likely to open. I'm not likely to open that Hellfire Club set anytime soon. But that is a great character. It looks very faithful to the comic book. Looks like it would look just as good on your comic book shelf as it would on your X-Men 97 shelf. If you have a 1997 shelf. This is Jubilee, and the more that I look at it, I think, yeah, this is the only Jubilee in the line. So very excited to have her. She comes with a cup of something that you can drink and a hand big enough to hold it, I think. She comes with sort of a casting hand, another casting hand, and one fist for punching. She has 2 firework hands that you could put on there. Very cool. She has a great expression, kind of a smile, sort of a mischievous, kind of crooked smile. She comes with that long yellow trench coat, the black bodysuit, the purple, the goggles, the hair sculpted really, really nicely. Of course, on the back, she's got it spreads out, so she can be kind of casting like Gambit a little bit. That is very cool. That is Jubilee in the package. It's 5 down and 3 to go. Let's see if I can put that there. And I dumped some of them. Oh, I'm sorry. There's not 8 figures in the wave. It's just 6 figures. So I did 5, and last but not least is, I am shaking it out, Morph. Morph is an emotional favorite. Of course, he's that touchstone from the first. I think from the first season he dies, and Logan feels really, really terrible. And then it turns out, he's alive, and everybody is overjoyed, and this guy is allowed to have these great adventures with his friends. Of course, he has alternate heads. Not sure whose head that is, but Peter Henry Gyrich is over here. Peter Henry Gyrich, very important to the X-Men, also to the Avengers. So get two of them, and I don't know. You couldn't have a Peter Henry Gyrich with his body, but if you got a regular figure with a suit, maybe one of those Indiana Jones Adventure Collection figures with a suit, and put a Peter Henry Gyrich head on it, you would have something. You'd be like, oh my gosh, that guy in the suit is Peter Henry Gyrich, and he's about to do a press conference for the Avengers / the X-Men. Anywho, that is all 6 figures. Morph and Emma Frost and Jubilee, or Jubilation Lee if you're nasty. Sorry, that was a very old joke. And Cable's very heavy, very stable chunk of action figure. Sunspot, and of course, as we began, a Logan, because you can't have a wave that does not have a figure with claws. So those are the figures in package. Let's break them out and see what we think of them in person. Now that we've got them out of the package, let's take a closer look at X-Men 97 Wave 3. First, I want to comment on all of the waves of X-Men 97 have been amazing. They've been all just, they're characters that appeared in the animated series. I'm a big fan of the animated series. I'm grateful that they put out all of these figures. I'm super happy that they continue to put out an X-Men 97 wave, like an animated wave. I would love for them to dip back into time a little bit, put some of those out also. But I understand, like, if they're only going to give me the ones that appeared in this season, I'm fine with that, because I expect that next season we'll have a lot of other X-Men characters that'll just be amazing also. That said, I'm not going to go over all the articulation. I'm going to save the accessories for last. I think, I don't want to do the typical kind of figure accessories that I usually do, because I don't want to pivot the camera constantly. So I thought I would just... There's 6 of those characters. Go easy on me. So let's start with Morph. Morph is sporting the classic X-Men uniform from the classic X-Men animated series with a bomber jacket. I don't know if I get that it's from the Jim Lee era here, but the leather jacket, I don't remember if that was a personal touch that Morph put on it or not. Of course, he's got Lord Voldemort face, which is, it's impossible to not see that. Harry Potter, I will get you, Harry Potter. You are my 7th Horcrux. Was there 7? Was there 9? I can't remember. Anywho, now I'm a Harry Potter nerd, but not very much of a Harry Potter nerd, because I don't remember a whole lot about it. So, anywho, that's Morph. Morph is a great addition to the collection. He's just a great figure. He's just very faithful to what he is on screen. I really like all of the parts that make him up. I think the neck being pale and the other head's skin being regular may be a little distracting, but at the same time, I'm not really sure how to get that neck stem off. So even if they'd given me one, I'm not absolutely sure I could have gotten a different colored neck on. I should probably look up how to replace the neck, but no. The human head, I found out, was just... Well, not I found out, I just kind of realized that. I just went, oh, that's Morph's human head when he goes out to grab milkshakes with everybody. So that is Morph. I just said that I didn't want to drop the camera, and here I am dropping the camera on Logan to get a better look at him, because I have him looking down at the playing cards. The playing cards themselves are very cool because you can see what's on them, but also the back of them says Xavier's. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it says Xavier's right on the cards. Of course, on the other side, I don't know. I can't read the numbers. I'm thinking that's a straight flush. I'm not sure. But Logan comes with that. He comes with 2 claw hands, 1 card's hands, and of course he has the kind of claw hands where you can remove the claws. So you can take the claws off and he can have 2, or he can be, giving you the middle one, which, if you're a kid, don't do that, because Uncle Chris tells you not to. Yeah, don't do it. But if you're an adult, go ahead and knock yourself out. And go ahead and have him, give Cyclops the middle. I do love the sculpting. I love the paint on the shirt and the jacket and the belt. I like how wide he is, but also how short he is in comparison to, like, Sunspot is squat over, and of course he's smaller than him. He's a lot smaller, about a head smaller than Cable, and he is smaller than White Queen. White Queen has action figure stands on her, so she stands a little bit taller. But in comparison to somebody like Morph, Morph is taller than Logan. So I think the Marvel Legends team did a great deal. They did a great job in making Logan short but extremely tough looking. And the jeans, the texture on the jeans is just really nice. It's not quite acid wash or anything, but it just looks worn. It looks like he's absolutely had them since the Second World War. And that jacket probably could have come from the Second World War too. The belt buckle's very, country and western, very, very Logan, and of course he's got the boots. And the boots are very cool, and the face is really nice for Logan. It's got the hair drawn in. I'm a big fan of this figure. It's very cool. For Emma Frost, the thing that I loved was, the sculpting, the extra head, just it's amazing throughout. What I hated was trying to stand her up. She's got the high heels, which I always hate, because the high heels never sit flat on anything, or I can never pose them completely flat. So I had to put her on action figure stands so that I could stand her up. Otherwise, she just, wouldn't. And the way that her shoe or her boots are constructed with the sort of the high heels doesn't give you a lot of surface area, and she's got this heavy cape on her that just kept pulling her backwards and down. The only way to get her to stand was to lean her way forward, and I didn't want to do that. But I do love the cape. I love the blue on the inside of it, very regal. The red, I think is that malice on her brooch, or just a cool brooch. I don't know. It kind of doesn't matter. It looks really cool. Every bit the White Queen, the fur lined cape, and the boots and the corset and the high heels. Everything about it is evil Emma Frost from the Hellfire Club. And everything about her screams that she's a mutant telepath that will rip your face off. And even the her face looks like, I'm going to rip your face off. So I did the thing with the hand so that it would look like I put the hair on her head that looked like it was blowing, as though she was using her power. But it's still a really cool figure. Most of you have action figure stands around, so indulge and put some action figure stands on her, because getting her to stand on your shelf when you're, trying to put other figures on there and you're bumping it and stuff like that, she's just going to be a giant pain. Just put some action figure stands on her feet, and even if it does give her a little boost in height, she's tall anyway, so it doesn't really make any difference. Very happy to have a Sunspot in the collection, mostly because I would love all of the original New Mutants. I've got the Build-A-Figure Warlock, I've got Mirage, Karma, and Wolfsbane, because I bought 3 of those from Walgreens back in the day. But I also ran into, somebody put a binary Captain Marvel head and some flame hands on one of the New Mutant bodies and created a magma. And I thought that was super clever. It was very cool, and so I snatched that one too. So in my collection I have a magma, a Danny Moonstar, a Wolfsbane, and a Karma, and no men in the original New Mutants uniform, which is this yellow and black with the red belt uniform, until now. Now it's Sunspot. And it's cool because I'm waiting now for someone to tell me how to pop that neck off and that head off so I can make this into maybe Cypher. Cannonball, I understand, was taller. But for a good likeness and everything, I would be willing to accept, Cannonball looking a little off, to have a Cannonball in my collection. That would be really cool. This is one more step toward a New Mutants collection, but it's also, I don't know if they're ever going to do the rest of the team. I'm sure at one point they'll put out Revelation, which is not even close, but they're, instead of pushing the past, they seem to, push the future. And that there's nothing wrong with that. You should be doing that. But damn, do I love this costume. I love, I just hope that the Marvel Legends team is going, we could reuse that and we could use it on a different couple of New Mutants, But that is Sunspot. He's very cool and a welcome addition to the collection. For Jubilee, I kind of wanted to pose her sort of just concentrating on her coffee cup while she's fending off some attack or sort of engaging in an attack in some way. She's the original Mallrat from X-Men. She's got the cup is excellent reuse. I think of Peter B. Parker from the first Spider-Verse film. He had a cup, and I think she inherits that cup from him. Also, the effects here are very cool. Usually you have to go out to like Etsy or somewhere to get, some sort of third-party effects. But now Hasbro is giving you effects attached to hands, which is extra cool. It gives you sort of added value. I like that these characters aren't cel shaded. That said, just a little tiny bit of cel shading right in the glasses that gives it a bit of like a shininess. It doesn't distract from the figure at all. It just sort of it's a neat addition. The sculpting is really good for the animated figures. It's really nice. It's got the bodysuit, the purple collar, the of course iconic yellow jacket. It's very cool with the collar just all over the place. That is very cool, and the huge earrings. Jubilee. This could be reused for Boom Boom. Boom Boom has those same glasses, same giant, earrings, and mostly probably the same effects mostly. So let's have a Boom Boom Marvel Legends team. And last but not least is Cable. He is a beast of a character. He's also heavily featured in the animated series, so it's about time we got a Cable. I can't complain too much. I mean, we've gotten a lot of great figures in the first two waves that didn't necessarily complete the X-Men lineup. Like, until this wave, we didn't get a Morph or a Jubilee. And I think that we can agree that Morph and Jubilee are important for not just X-Men 97, but the X-Men cartoon before the 97 became a reality. And Cable was a part of that. He wasn't, a member of the team constantly, but he was on those first seasons also. Of course, this year you get Logan. I think we got it in season 1 or season 2 of the non-97 one, and I think we've seen him in plain clothes a couple times taking care of business. But this Cable has two weapons that are very futuristic, very if you're familiar with his introduction by Rob Liefeld and the sort of the Rob Liefeldian weapons that are enormous and sci-fi and very sort of manga inspired, you understand like these are very, very much in that vein. They're keeping with that tradition, that sort of first appearance tradition where he just uses these wildly creative weapons that you are like, oh, I know those are weapons, but I don't know the full impact of what they do. But I'm probably about to. One metal arm, one human arm, of course. He's got a headset on. Doesn't go all the way across his head. It just goes right next to one ear. Very cool. The little suspenders sort of cut off right at the joint there. But if you leave the torso sort of facing this way, it's hard to see that break. But that is a really good likeness of Cable also. It's just a really nice face print. I didn't know if you could see that, so I zoomed in on it, by golly. So I love Cable. I love how chunky it is. I love how futuristic and sci-fi it is. I love that it does sort of resemble a Rob Liefeld drawing. It doesn't, not aesthetically maybe, but as far as giant guns and the, you know, and the uniform, the shoulder pads and everything else, this is pretty spot on. And that is Cable. Of course, in addition to the accessories you've already seen, I'll try to take a closer look at some of the accessories that were in their hands. For example, this is Cable's short blaster. These are, of course, the blast effects that go right into the ports. The blast effects were really popular with their G.I. Joe line. Has now a lot of ports that you can plug in, a lot of reuse. But of course, these two sort of always came with Iron Man figures. They were always configured to fit into Iron Man's hand and to be the things that Iron Man wielded. In addition to that, for Cable comes with not just the two trigger hands that I already put in his hand. It comes with one sort of holding hand, which I imagine was to maybe hold this up or something, maybe at the top of the weapon. I still think it might. Maybe it's meant more to hold the barrel, maybe? Like, oh, it's more to hold the barrel, I think. Is the open grip hand. Maybe to support the weapon. And then, of course, one fist for punching. Sorry, I like making that noise. I don't know why. For Jubilee, she has this extra casting hand. She has a total of 2. She could have these both on at the same time and be casting fireworks. I like the purple and the blue a lot. I don't know if that was cartoon specific or not. Also, the kind of the splayed out hand for gesturing is very cool. And in addition to, the fist. You knew I was going to do it. You knew I was going to do it. And I did it. And of course the cup from, I believe, Peter B. Parker. I think this is reuse. And it is excellent reuse of the cup. Or she has joined the Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and this is, she's hanging out with that guy. Emma Frost came with this head on her. I replaced it with the one where it was more flowing. She has one fist, and I'm not going to do the thing. And she has two fists, and she has 2 gesturing hands. I imagine the gestures are what she does for casting telekinesis. She's like, I cast telekinesis on you. Ah, it's the wrong side. I cast telekinesis on you. There we go. But also, the head is really nice. You could probably... I'm thinking, maybe I should get another one, or maybe I should pair this with G.I. Joe CoverGirl. I haven't really found a head that I super liked, and this one is really good for CoverGirl. So I don't know if I'll do that, but I like that it's an option. For Logan, he has 2 claw hands. Of course, each claw comes off individually, and he has 2 fists because he's always punching when he's not punching. I showed you earlier the Xavier deck of cards. This is a really nice touch. I don't know. I can't remember. It could be that I've only seen the cartoon once. I don't remember a poker playing episode or anything. So, yeah, I don't remember that. Sunspot has this. It's kind of like a globe. I think I had it at one point through his open hand. I don't know if this was it or not, but you could sort of put it through the yellow stuff down there and kind of have it sort of resting on his palm like that. It doesn't look great. It looks like this looks like the planet that the Beyonder has in his thing, but it's on fire. Nah, that's not it. So he has a splayed out hand, a fist for punching, and he has a splayed out hand and a fist for punching that's on him right now. And last but not least, actually, I missed one hand for Jubilee. She has another splayed out hand. Sorry about that, Jubilee. I will reunite you with your accessories. For Morph, in addition to the two, well, the fist that he has on and the gesturing hand, he has this gesturing hand and another fist. He also has human Morph head where he, can disguise himself. I like that they didn't go for those super dark circles under his eyes that make him look permanently evil. And a Peter Henry Gyrich, which is fun. And I imagine Peter Henry Gyrich does not like seeing himself acting, and Morph speaking from him. So that does it for this edition. I had a blast opening all these figures and taking them out and trying them out and posing them out. I had a blast. I hope that if you are watching the X-Men 97 series and you're excited about the next season, that you got all 3 waves and that you sort of jumped on this immediately and went, yes, I want in. I want on this journey with these figures. We're getting some of the best figures we've ever gotten. And I get it. In 5 years, we'll have even better figures. But for right now, these are the best we've got. And we've got 3D representations of characters that we really love. So get them if you can, unless you already have them. And chances are you already got them. And until next time, enjoy your toys.